Top story: tension rises over North Korea. Good morning. This is Martin Farrer with the news roundup you need today. The tension continues to rise around the question of North Korea after Donald Trump warned of the possibility of a major conflict with Kim Jong-un's regime. But the good news is, the US president has told Reuters in an interview he would prefer to solve the problem of the standoff over Pyongyang's nuclear and missile program through diplomacy. This was emphasized by his Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, who said Washington would be prepared to enter talks with Kim on condition he would be ready to negotiate about disarming, revealing another aspect of the White House strategy. Trump also said China's President Xi Jinping was trying very hard to persuade North Korea to halt its weapons program. The interview is worth a read, particularly as he admits he thought being president would be easier. Here are the highlights though. It's getting serious for one village in South Korea, where the US has deployed its high-tech THAAD missile defense system on what used to be a golf course. Our correspondent Justin McCurry has been to Seongju, where the mayor, Lee Seok-ju, told him, "We are worried we are a target." Power in a union minus Brexit could have many unintended consequences. None more so perhaps than enabling a united Ireland. EU leaders meeting at a summit this weekend in Brussels are preparing to discuss a clause would recognize any future reunification and allow the North to automatically rejoin the EU. There is, of course, now no majority in the North for reunification, but the EU move is set to provoke an angry reaction from Westminster, where members of the Conservative and Unionist Party will not want to preside over the dismantling of the Union. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget we've got more election news in the snap. Read to the bottom for details. Terror tensions. Police have foiled a suspected terrorist attack in Westminster thanks to what The Guardian understands was a tip-off from a member of the Muslim community. Armed officers arrested a man on Thursday who is alleged to have been carrying knives near the Houses of Parliament. The suspect was arrested meters from where Khalid Masood killed 5 people in March. In an unconnected raid on Thursday night, a woman was shot and 4 people arrested by counter-terrorism police at an address in Willesden, North London. Marine freed Alexander Blackman, the Royal Marine jailed for shooting dead and injured Taliban fighter in Afghanistan, has been released from prison overnight, after a tabloid-backed campaign to have his sentence quashed. Blackman left Earlstoke Prison in Wiltshire just 12:20 am on Friday in the back of an unmarked police car. He was known as Marine in the original trial in which he was found guilty of murder. The 2011 incident. Sinking feeling. Ever thought about not contributing to a collection for a colleague? Staff at Tate Modern are on the same page after notices went up asking all workers, many of whom aren't paid the London living wage, to contribute towards a sailing boat as a leaving present for the outgoing director, Nicholas Sirota. One employee said the requests had been greeted with a mixture of shock and laughter. Aliens are out there, has Ridley Scott, the man who gave us the Alien film series, been spending too much time at work as the director prepares for the release of the 6th installment, Alien: Covenant. He has revealed that he believes there is intelligent life in the universe and that one day they'll be coming for us Earthlings. "I believe in superior beings," he said. Lunchtime read: Hipsters, Heritage and Handel. You might already be suffering election fatigue. But Simon Jenkins has an interesting take on the mayoral contests taking place next week in Manchester and Birmingham, with the former having made a brash bid for the tag of England's second city. There's a lot at stake in the Midlands powerhouse where Labour's Sion Simon and the Tory candidate, former John Lewis boss Andy Street, are vying to continue the city's regeneration. Can these elections usher in a new era when our cities can find a new political potency to rival not each other but London? Sport. City displayed their superiority in the second half of the Manchester Derby, but the only real incident in the scoreless draw was the sending off of Marouane Fellaini. Not surprisingly, Jose Minho reckons Sergio Aguero might have exaggerated just a tad in his role. Barney Ronay says City harked back to the Pellegrini era, with the old guard coming to the fore. Experts are warning that the UK must face up to the scale of its gambling problem, with Britons losing £12 6 through gambling last year, almost £300 a person. Meanwhile, David Kahn reports, French prosecutors have opened an investigation into potential corruption relating to FIFA's vote, Russia, and Qatar to host respectively the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. The heavyweight tussle for trash talking continues between Vladimir Klitschko and Anthony Joshua, with the latter claiming it could be the end for his Ukrainian opponent. Lewis Hamilton says he's been inspired by Serena Williams' response to Ilie Nastase racist abuse, while India might not even take their bat and ball to the Champions Trophy after the IC resolved to win back their portion of cricket's financial riches. Business. Shares in Asia were mostly down as traders fretted about a possible US government shutdown, despite hopes that last-minute talks would avert a crisis. Either way, it didn't affect the party mood on Wall Street, where soaring tech stocks sent the Nasdaq to record highs. A 3.9% rise in Amazon shares added $3 to the personal fortune of founder Jeff Bezos. The ST 100 is set to open flat, while the pound gained slightly to sit at $1.291 and buys €1.187. The papers. Many of the front pages are taken over with the events near Westminster yesterday. The Sun decides to use a pun. Knife one lads, praising the police for seizing the suspect and a number of weapons. The Mail uses the picture of the suspect and says he was smirking. It also features the case of Marine A, who has been let out of prison. The Telegraph's headline is Downing Street terror plot, and says a man was arrested 300 yards from the gates of the Prime Minister's residence. The Mirror also features the suspect on its front but leads on the story. 500 head teachers have written to Theresa May warning the education system will collapse without proper funding. The FT splashes with the story. The EU is preparing to recognize the possibility of a united Ireland, and that the North would be immediately allowed back into the EU if it joined with the South. The Times leads with the head of the children's charity NSPCC saying, social media companies such as Twitter and Facebook would be fined if they fail to protect kids online. For more news, www.theguardian.com. Get the snap. For the fullest possible picture on the general election, make sure you are subscribed to the Snap.